aging?
I just felt this excitement when you said that.
Oh, a lot of people would not agree with you.
I know.
You call it, something I read, venturing into the unknown world, a great adventure.
I am calling it my years of living dangerously. Yeah, I think that growing old is such a great, interesting adventure. I'm working on a book, you know, which I think I'm going to call The Ripening, or Ripening All the Way, because it really, the question of aging, it's so funny, when you say the word aging, it feels gray to me. When I say the word ripening, it feels like, oh, some fullness is coming to its completion, the way a eucalyptus bud becomes the eucalyptus tree. It's like that's its completion, its fullness. And we don't know what a human being can be yet. We haven't had enough fullness of time until like this generation, where there's enough old people who are pretty healthy, pretty articulate, and self-reflective enough to be interested in, oh, what's it like now? What's here now? And things are changing, as I noticed just in myself, that I never thought about, that seems so different now. Like doing. Like I just get so much enjoyment out of sitting at the breakfast table. My husband's in his red flannel bathrobe with his glasses hanging around his neck, doing his email, and I'm having my tea and looking out at the blue jays fighting at the bird feeder. And it's such a pleasure. I never knew that life would be such a pleasure. It feels like something about spaciousness is happening. So as I say that, I wonder what is making things so spacious now. I'm not as busy as I used to be. I've chosen to not be as busy as I used to be. But I think there's something else. I think that consciousness actually changes. And I've read a lot of research about aging and what people experience. And it seems that this is a normal thing, this sense of enjoying being in the moment. And watching the clouds blow across the sky, or the tips of the trees blow in the wind, or the wind on the water. I get these little explosions of joy. And love is different. Love is so interesting. You can see I could go on like this for a long time. It's like my relationship with my husband. We've been married now 26 years. It seems to be, I always thought it was just like incredibly deep and wonderful and full. But there's something else that's happening. I think in part it has to do that we know we have maybe 10, maybe 15 more years to live, something like that. So there's a poignancy to our love, and knowing that it's so precious and limited in terms of time. And so it has that kind of, that kind of feeling when something's poignant, like there's a grief and a joy together. And then that brings a sense of great appreciation. I've never done couples counseling, but I would be totally useless at this point because I really feel when someone tells me about, oh, you know, my husband, he doesn't pick his socks up in the morning and he gets angry at me. And I just feel like this sense of, oh, I wish you could be grateful that you have this life partner right now for this short time. But I don't say it because I know it's not really appropriate to somebody who's in the midst of a struggle. But that's what I feel. And I know that Paul feels that too. And we look at each other sometimes and go, who thought he just turned 70? I'm going to be 67. And it's like, it's so good. We never, my ideas were like based on basically love comics that I read when I was a teenager. Like, you get married, it's really good, like when you at the wedding, and then that's kind of it.
All downhill from there.
All downhill from there. You know, you have kids, and then they complain, and then they're teenagers, and there's the best time of your love is right in the beginning, and then it's all down the hill from there. But it's not true.
Oh, what a glorious thing. What if we all knew that?
Exactly.
What a surprise.
So I'm not saying this is true for everybody,
Right.
but I'm saying I'm noticing that it's possible, and I'm not doing anything to make it happen. I'm not doing any kind of special practices or investigation or, I don't know, exercises, or it's just happening. And then there's other things like I was sitting on the sofa the other day watching the wind in the treetops. Is one of my favorite things to do. And I felt, so this is California, right? And it's the middle of the summer. And I felt this cold kind of slap of briny sea air on my face, like November on the East Coast where I grew up, in Atlantic City, right on the ocean. And immediately I had a memory that just like in Technicolor with the smells and the tastes and the feel of that experience of the wind on my face when I was 12. That kind of thing never used to happen. And so there's an effect that's, in painting, it's called pentimento. And it's where the paint starts to thin and the original painting shines through when they would use canvas over and over again. So the pentimento is you're here and there's that, and then shining through is the earlier time too. And it's all here together. And I never knew that was possible. But it also brings a kind of wonder and poignancy to our human experience.